All right, so you've brought us quite the collection of dinosaur data for this deep dive. Excerpts, images, you name it.
It's quite the treasure trove, actually.
It is. We're going back in time to see how sauropods, those long-necked behemoths, and the ever-popular T-Rex have gone from, like, monstrous to magnificent, at least in the public eye, right? So what's the game plan today?
Well, we're really tracing the evolution of dinosaur depictions from those clunky, almost comical early images to the more nuanced, scientifically grounded representations we see today.
And why do you think those changes matter? I mean, is it just about getting the science right, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's not just for paleontology, right? But for how we understand our place in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, so you're telling me those vintage dinosaur illustrations I used to love as a kid are basically paleontological fake news.
Well,
Spill the tea. What were they getting so wrong back then?
let's just say our understanding of dinosaur anatomy and behavior has undergone a seismic shift, especially since the 1960s.
Really?
Yeah.
Not recently.
Yeah. Before that, limited fossil evidence led to, like, a lot of guesswork.
Mm.
Take sauropods, for example.
Okay.
They used to be depicted with their necks outstretched horizontally, almost like they were trying to win a limbo contest.
A limbo contest, like how low can you go?
Exactly.
Wow.
But newer analysis of their skeletons suggests a more elegant, swan-like S-curve.
So it's like form follows function. Like that actually makes sense for how they would have lived their lives.
Exactly. And it's not just about aesthetics. That posture would have had a huge impact on their feeding habits, their social interactions, even their ability to spot predators.
So it's like we were stuck on the first draft of dinosaur history, and then the dinosaur renaissance hit the edit button hard. Was that what it was called? The dinosaur renaissance?
Exactly. And it wasn't just about new discoveries. It was the whole new way of thinking. Paleontologists started looking at dinosaurs not just as static skeletons, but as living, breathing animals. They started asking new questions, challenging old assumptions, and that led to a much more dynamic and, dare I say, accurate understanding of these creatures.
And part of that new understanding involved realizing that dinosaurs weren't just giant, scaly reptiles, right? I mean, feathered dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been a real mic drop moment in paleontology.
It was a game changer, for sure.
Yeah.
The discovery of feathered dinosaurs like, Sinosauropteryx and Microraptor
Yeah.
completely upended our understanding of dinosaur evolution, especially their relationship to birds. Suddenly, those old, drab reptilian images were out, and these vibrant, feathered, frankly, much cooler ancestors were in.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an image makeover. Okay, so we've gone from lumbering lizards to feathered rock stars. But those early depictions, while maybe a bit inaccurate, had a certain monstrous charm, didn't they? What was it about those early images that both captivated and creeped people out, even if they weren't quite right?
It's that fascinating paradox of dinosaurs. They're familiar, yet utterly alien. We recognize the skeletons, the muscles, but their size, those horns, the teeth, it's a potent mix.
Mm-hmm.
And when those more alien traits are exaggerated, it triggers a primal response, what we call the uncanny valley.
The uncanny valley. Is that like when something is so close to being real, but it's just a little bit off?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a disconnect between what our brain expects and what it's actually seeing,
Yeah.
and it can be, well, a little unsettling.
You know, you're right. Even those meticulously crafted Crystal Palace dinosaurs, while incredible for their time, they do have that uncanny valley vibe. Sir Richard Owen, despite being a brilliant paleontologist, based those sculptures on, well, limited fossil evidence and the prevailing reptilian understanding, right?
Right, they didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle.
Right. And the result, these massive, bulky creatures that look more like oversized lizards than the dynamic animals we now know they were.
And it's not just the sculptures, right?
No.
You see that same uncanny valley effect in early dinosaur illustrations and films. Think back to the 1925 adaptation of The Lost World. The dinosaurs are these slow, clumsy behemoths, often portrayed as, mindless eating machines.
And those depictions, even if unintentionally, kind of tapped into a deeper cultural fear, didn't they? This was the Victorian era, a time of rapid scientific advancement, but also a time when people were grappling with the implications of those discoveries. Dinosaurs, these monstrous creatures from a bygone era, must embody those anxieties about the power of nature, the unknown.
Absolutely. Dinosaurs became almost mythical creatures. embodying both the awe and fear that people felt towards the natural world.
It's like they were the ultimate Victorian horror story come to life. These
Yeah.
giant, powerful creatures representing a time before human dominance.
And the name dinosaur itself, coined by Owen, means terrible lizard.
Terrible lizard.
Yeah.
Talk about setting the stage.
Right.
It's wild.
It really is. And that fascination with the monstrous, with dinosaurs as symbols of nature's raw power, hasn't entirely disappeared even today.
You're absolutely right. There's still the stars of countless horror films and video games tapping into our primal fears. But there's a shift happening, right? It's not just about the monsters anymore.
It's more nuanced now. Yes, the monster element is captivating, but we're also seeing dinosaurs depicted with more uh, complexity, reflecting that dinosaur renaissance we talked about.
So more Spielberg than Godzilla then.
Yeah, you could say that.
So fill me in on this renaissance. What were the big aha
Hmm.
moments that really changed the game?
Well, it was a perfect storm of like new discoveries and shifting scientific paradigms.
Okay.
One key player was John Ostrom.
Okay, John Ostrom.
Yeah, in the 1960s, his work on Deinonychus, a smaller relative of Velociraptor, really shook things up. Here was this agile bird-like predator, not the sluggish behemoth many imagined.
So Deinonychus was like the dinosaur world's version of like a nimble ninja.
Exactly.
Completely changing like the perception of what these creatures could do.
Precisely. And then there are the fossil finds from places like the Liaoning province in China.
Liaoning province.
Yeah, revealing these like exquisitely preserved feathered dinosaurs. These weren't just a few stray feathers. These dinosaurs were practically wearing feather boas.
That's amazing. It's like the difference between finding like a faded Polaroid, right?
Right.
And uncovering a high definition video. Our picture of dinosaurs became so much clearer, so much more vibrant.
And those details really matter.
They do. So these discoveries were huge, but it wasn't just about the fossils, right?
No.
There was a whole new generation of scientists coming in with like fresh eyes.
Absolutely. Paleontologists like Robert Baker and Jack Horner
Oh, yeah.
really challenged the prevailing view of dinosaurs as, cold-blooded, slow-moving reptiles. They argued for like warm-blooded active animals more akin to birds than lizards.
Okay, I see where this is going. From sluggish giants to agile, warm-blooded creatures.
Exactly.
No wonder the art had to catch up. What's fascinating is how these like scientific shifts influence not just our understanding, but also our emotional response. It's like the uncanny valley starts to shrink as our perception becomes more familiar, more nuanced.
That's a great point. It's not just about accuracy. It's about how that accuracy affects our perception.
And how we connect with these creatures.
Yes,
right?
it's-
Even if we've never actually seen one in real life.
And it's not just in, illustrations and films. Take those early dinosaur models.
Yeah, like the ones I had as a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Companies like, Schleich and Sim Model Dinosaurs, they were striving for realism, but they were working with limited information. Today, you look at those models and they might seem a bit, quaint,
What?
maybe even a little unsettling, because they don't quite align with our current understanding.
Yeah, it's like they've become relics of a bygone era of paleontological thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone from monstrous to magnificent, but there's still a lot we don't know about dinosaurs, right?
Oh, tons.
Like, what did they actually sound like? Did they dance?
We haven't found any, disco balls in the fossil record just yet.
Right. Were they texting each other?
Yeah, we haven't found any dinosaur emojis just yet, but you're right. There are still so many mysteries.
Yeah.
And as we uncover new evidence, develop new technologies, our understanding and, yes, our depictions will continue to evolve.
And with that evolution, our, emotional response will likely shift as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That uncanny valley effect, it's fascinating how something that once seemed monstrous can become familiar, even beautiful, as we learn more.
It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry, to our innate curiosity about the natural world, and it speaks to the enduring allure of dinosaurs.
Speaking of which, dinosaurs aren't confined to, museums and academic journals anymore. They've become, pop culture icons.
Yeah, exactly. They're everywhere. Books, movies, toys, even political cartoons.
Okay, so ready to dig into the cultural fossil record and see how dinosaurs went from extinct to extraordinary in the public imagination. All right, so we've explored how dinosaurs went from, lumbering lizards to feathered rock stars, at least in the scientific community. But their biggest transformation might be their rise to, pop culture superstardom.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, dinosaurs have transcended paleontology. They've become these powerful cultural symbols, right? They reflect our anxieties, aspirations. I've even seen them in political cartoons.
Wow.
Yeah, they really are everywhere.
Okay, so we're going full dino philosophy now. I'm game.
Let's do it.
But let's start with something like a little closer to my heart, those epic dinosaur movies.
Okay, yeah. A natural starting point. From those early stop-motion masterpieces
Oh,
to
yeah.
the CGI behemoths of today, dinosaur films provide a fascinating window into our kind of changing perceptions of these
Oh,
creatures.
totally. You can practically trace our evolving understanding of dinosaurs through cinema.
Yeah.
Take, like, the 1925 adaptation of The Lost World, for example.
Yeah?
Those dinosaurs were, like, basically movie monsters, right? It was all about spectacle and terror. Then you have something like Jurassic Park, which, yeah, it still has those, like, thrilling action sequences,
Oh, for sure.
but the dinosaurs are more nuanced, more intelligent.
Exactly. Spielberg and his team, they use the most up-to-date paleontological knowledge
They did their research.
to create creatures that felt like real, right?
Mhm.
That sparked genuine awe and, yes, a healthy dose of fear.
A healthy dose for sure. I remember watching Jurassic Park as as a kid and being both terrified and utterly captivated. It's like I think those films played a huge role in kind of reigniting the public's fascination with dinosaurs,
Absolutely. They brought dinosaurs like roaring back into the public consciousness. Right. And not just as monstrous antagonists, but as complex creatures. Creatures worthy of our fascination and, importantly, our respect.
Speaking of like captivating stories, dinosaurs haven't just taken over the box office, they've also stomped their way onto the
Oh,
bookshelf.
for sure.
Right.
From classic adventure novels like Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World
Right.
to modern sci-fi epics,
Yeah.
dinosaurs have inspired countless literary adventures.
And they're not just window dressing either. Like they often represent these bigger themes, right?
Right.
Like the power of nature, the dangers of, unchecked ambition, even humanity's place in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. Dinosaurs embody this sense of like deep time, the vastness of Earth's history, and our place within it, for better or worse.
Right.
It's a powerful, enduring theme in literature, and dinosaurs provide a tangible, often terrifying way to explore those ideas.
So true. And those themes, they resonate beyond books and movies. Think
Yeah.
about all the dinosaur toys, video games, even clothes and home decor. Oh, yeah.
It's like dinosaurs have become this global phenomenon, captivating people of all ages and backgrounds.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
It is.
They've become cultural icons. And I think it speaks to that primal fascination we all have with the past. With creatures so different from anything alive today, they challenge our understanding of the world and ignite our imaginations.
You know, it strikes me that our fascination with dinosaurs isn't just about them. It's about us.
Yeah.
It's about our need to explore, to understand, to find our place in something, larger than ourselves. And dinosaurs, with their mystery and majesty, provide the perfect canvas for those explorations.
What a beautiful way to put it. We've gone from depicting them as monstrous to recognizing their magnificence.
We have.
And in doing so, we've uncovered something, profound about ourselves, our enduring curiosity, our capacity for wonder, and our deep connection to the natural world. I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of dinosaur depictions. It's clear that our fascination with these magnificent creatures go far beyond, just bones and fossils. It's about our never-ending quest to understand the past, our place in the present, and the power of these ancient creatures to continue shaping our world.